It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. Getting straight into things, we are celebrating library supporters this very special week in celebration of Friends of the Library Week. We are sending a huge thank you to the Friends of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Their unwavering support and dedication have helped enrich the library's programs, services, and community outreach year after year. From funding special events to enhancing library resources, their efforts play a vital role in bringing more to our community. The West Bloomfield Library is proud to honor and celebrate their invaluable contributions, not just this week, but every single day, as a matter of fact. We just want to say thank you to the Friends of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library for all that you do for our library right here in West Bloomfield. And it takes a lot to keep our library thriving, keep organizations and buildings in general, even our homes, safe and thriving. And that reminds me to do a reminder for autumn hazards to be prepared for as we are into the stretch of the fall season. And as the leaves change and the weather turns colder, it's important to be mindful of potential hazards all around our home, not just for ourselves, but other people who may come visit. And the West Bloomfield Township Police Department has issued some helpful fall safety tips to keep you and your family safe this season. If you're watching on CivicCenterTV.com, you can see that graphic right there. First, they're just saying before you cozy up to the fireplace, make sure it is clean and inspected. A buildup of soot can be a fire hazard. And speaking of fire safety, remember to check those smoke alarms too, something that we also like to reiterate a lot on this show. With increased use of fireplaces and candles this time of year, working smoke detectors are very crucial. So make sure you're checking those. Are you cleaning up the leaves and not leaving the leaves this year? Please be careful, especially if you're getting the leaves from the roof and the gutter. Be careful on that ladder. Always use it on a flat surface, and if possible, have someone at the bottom spotting you. Watch out for slippery leaves on the sidewalks and driveways. Yes, they can be slippery with this weather. So clean them regularly to prevent falls for you, your family, and for others who may be walking along those sidewalks. Stay safe and enjoy this beautiful autumn weather, West Bloomfield. You can keep up with content from our police department and everything that they have to share. West Bloomfield PD on Facebook for more information and keep up with everything. Another way you can keep up with everything is by attending local meetings that we have in the greater West Bloomfield area. And that just reminds me, parental voices are needed for an upcoming IEP meeting. As a matter of fact, all parents and guardians of students with IEPs in the West Bloomfield School District, mark your calendars for a crucial meeting. This will be Wednesday, November 6th, 6 to 7:30 p.m. You can see that graphic on your screen if you're watching on CivicCenterTV.com. This is your chance to have an informal conversation with special education administrators and share valuable information, ideas, and discuss potential partnerships. The meeting will be held at the Administration and Community Services Building on the corner of Commerce and Hiller. Don't miss this opportunity. Please don't. This is why we are reminding you right now. Gives you an opportunity to connect with administrators and ensure your child receives the best possible support. It means a lot when you're right there face to face with the people that are making that possible. So as we just said, you can actually scan that QR code that was on that graphic if you're watching on CivicCenterTV.com. You can go to the Facebook page as well, West Bloomfield Schools, for more information. Like we said, that QR code on that graphic on Civic Center TV, get that smartphone out. It'll take you directly to that link to get more information on that IEP meeting as well. Speaking of meetings, there are some people who did attend a meeting as of recently. Successful caregiver meeting that inspired the at-home reading. Special recognition, first and foremost, goes to Miss Colleen Mestog, excuse me if I pronounce the name wrong, sharing valuable tips on fostering a joyful reading culture right within our homes. And to Sonia James, by the way, Executive Director of Educational Equity, Inclusion, and the Global Equity Team for organizing this event. You can see these beautiful faces and people that attended this event right here on CivicCenterTV.com. And shout out to their sponsors that you saw also, Jets Pizza, Goldfish of West Bloomfield, and the partners, Schuler Books, West Bloomfield Library, and United We Walk. Huge appreciation to the families that also joined that event to encourage everyone in their home to keep that reading momentum going. You can stay tuned for more events from the West Bloomfield Global Equity Team. Go directly to the Facebook per usual, West Bloomfield Schools on Facebook, to keep up with everything that they have going on. Since we are keeping things in schools, West Bloomfield football, they're preparing to end its regular season on a high note. With that being said, following last week's 34-3 blowout win at Birmingham Seahome, by the way, our very own Tyler Keefe from our team had a chance to preview the game with head coach Zach Hilbers as the Lakers look to lock in a playoff spot and move into that postseason.
Lakers coming off a win last week in Birmingham. Now they got to close out the regular season back out on the road against the Panthers of Roseville, another team that's had a winning season, been really impressive in recent weeks. Coming off a big win last week against Romeo, what should we be focusing on as we look forward to Friday at 7 o'clock on the road?
Well, they're really athletic. They can kind of match our athleticism on the edge and, at linebacker and on the lines and stuff. They've kind of been a program that's gradually improving and getting better and better each year, making deeper and deeper runs into the playoffs. So it's definitely a challenge. I told the kids they probably see this as a stepping stone game for them as a program if they go out there and try to play with a Division I team that's at least had recent success. So it's our job not to get caught up in that. It's our job to go play good football and, try our best to come out of there with a win. They've
been scoring a lot of points. That offense is a high-powered offense, averaging almost 43 points per game, and they're giving up less than 20. Three of their wins this season, they haven't allowed more than a single score, more than 3 touchdowns in any of these games altogether. So, how does that speak to your team being able to go out last week and execute, repeating that performance this week on the road?
Well, Seahome had kind of been like that too. They've been a really good defense, and we were able to kind of do things our way and take control of that game. And I guess you could say the same about Lake Orion or Clarkson or anybody else in our league. So we've had success in stretches, and it's just about, I guess, trusting in our stuff and believing in the process and just knowing that we're battle tested, and they might be really good, but we've played really good teams. So it's nothing that's going to shock us and surprise us.
And facing that adversity and being able to, in pockets, overcome it, and in other areas sort of have to go back and repeat those performances to learn those lessons. How can that actually maybe be beneficial as you go into a tough game to close out the regular season and that stepping stone into playoff time?
Well, I guess, it's beneficial because when you get to the end of the year, there's nothing that's going to surprise you. We've played teams that are athletic and powerful and really well coached and just such a variety. And there's, like I said, there's nothing that's going to throw you off and then walk out, kick off the ball and be like, oh my gosh, we've never seen that before. But at the same time, they're good. They have some really good players that have had really good careers and really good seasons. So, they're definitely playing confident, and the game means a lot to them. And they just, knocked off a really good competitive Division I team last week in Romeo, like you said. So, they know that they can do it. It's our job to, stop that from happening.
You come in this week, obviously you want to win that game. You want to finish your regular season strong, finish with a winning record, get that elusive 2 consecutive wins that you haven't been able to find this season. But the reality is you're in the playoffs. This game has a major impact on how that playoff outlook looks. How do you factor that into the motivation behind this football game while maintaining the focus on the 22 players you're going to be going up against offensively and defensively on Friday?
Yeah, you're right. We're probably in the playoffs. It's not mathematically guaranteed, I guess, but it would take, some pretty crazy stuff happening. But, that's part of the goal, but it's not the only goal. We're planning to have a winning season right now, maybe get a playoff home game, depending on how the map falls. And then also, for your own, I guess, pride and reputation and our expectations of ourselves, which should be unchanged week to week.
What's got to happen this week? What do you have to see from this team to be able to walk out of that game, win or lose, ideally win, and say to them, you guys are ready for playoff time. We're ready for next week already, and this week is about making sure that we're ready for week 2, week 3, and beyond.
Well, we think we got some pretty good players, and they can do a lot. It's about execution for us, and we were able to do it a week ago, and we kind of saw the results. So I guess doing that back-to-back weeks like we had talked about, and really just being clean and not making mistakes and doing all the things it takes to win the games in the playoffs, because highlights might look cool, but it's really mistakes that more often than not lose you the game more than highlights win you the game. So just like we did a week ago, execute like what we're supposed to do and what we practiced.
Lakers taking on Roseville, 7 o'clock kickoff on Friday night. It is in Roseville. Stay tuned for more information on our coverage on our website on civiccentertv.com/Lakers Sports. Coach, before we let you go, any final thoughts as you head into the final week of the regular season?
The fall is always such a blur to me. You never really feel like you're in week 9, and I guess just the urgency of the playoffs looming, meaning obviously every week the field's cut in half and half the teams are sent home for the year. It's exciting, and if that doesn't get you excited and ready to gear up and play, another competitive football game, you're probably doing the wrong thing. So, we're pumped up, we're amped up, and, we're just ready to get it done.
It all comes to a close on Friday night. The final week of the regular season decides your fate. Then it comes to the time of the year where every game could potentially seal that fate. Coach, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
I can just feel the energy from Coach Hilbers. I'm hyped up, Coach, as the Lakers continue on in this season. You can keep up with everything on the website, civiccentertv.com/Lakers Sports. For more information on our coverage of Lakers football as they continue to push through the season. And you can keep up with that full episode of This Week in Laker Football, civiccentertv.com/Lakers Sports. And the Lakers aren't the only team in West Bloomfield making us proud as a community. Spirit of Grace Church of West Bloomfield has a team of quilters that's making a worldwide impact. As a matter of fact, you see on the screen on civiccentertv.com, they are in need of help. So with me right here live on The Splash is the pastor for Spirit of Grace Church. We have Joyce Partika Stive joining us. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. So first and foremost, Pastor, like I said, we do appreciate you. Once we saw this story, it was very, very interesting. But let's just start off with you just telling us in general. Tell us about this quilting group and how it got started at Spirit of Grace Church.
So Spirit of Grace is a congregation that was developed almost 10 years ago from 3 different congregations merging together. Some of them were Lutheran and one of them was Episcopalian. The Lutherans had this quilting group, and they decided that it was a ministry that they wanted to continue after the merger. And so these quilters continued to get together. So every Tuesday morning at about 9:30, they get together in our back fellowship hall, and they just make quilts and laugh and join in fellowship together.
That is so, so powerful, the fact that they felt this was important enough to continue even after that type of, acquisition or merger, as you would say. So very interesting to say the least when it comes to that. But like these quilts, like we said, are not only being built right here in West Bloomfield, but they're being shipped off to a bunch of different places. Can you just talk about the impact that you've personally seen from these quilts, not only being built right here in this community, but shipped off to locations that's needed?
So I think one of the great things about this ministry is that these folks really have relied on donations from the community. They are part of an organization called Lutheran World Relief that was founded by Lutherans in the United States at the end of World War II. They decided that they needed to bring congregations together to do things to better the world around us. And so these quilts are sent to places that really need them. So they've gone to places like Turkey and Ukraine. They've gone to places like Israel, and they also stay right here in the United States for disaster victims.
Oh, wow. So we're literally a global type of impact that we're making right here in West Bloomfield, sending it off to different countries, continents, and things of that nature, and to hurricane relief victims, like we said, that happened just recently in the Florida coast of the United States. So thank you for also explaining that too. That's very, very insightful. But one thing that you said that I want to kind of go back to very briefly is the fact that you said this relies heavily on volunteers and donations. Talk about the help that the community can come in regards to donating some items that are necessary to make this happen.
So one of the things that you saw was that the quilters needed some sheets. The sheets provide the backing for the quilts. And those are great. And one of the things that we have learned at Spirit of Grace is we can always count on the community to step in when they're needed.
Yeah.
And so they have provided fabric, they've provided yarn, they've provided sheets, they've provided batting that goes in between the two layers of fabric just to make sure that the quilt stays nice and warm.
Yeah.
And so the community has always stepped in to help. So we really appreciate that.
And it's part of our job right here to not only have you on to explain this, but also put that word out. We are the channel for people. If you do have those gently used or used bed sheets that are still at least in good enough shape so that they can use those, please donate them. And since we are on that, how and when and where could they donate these items if they do have them?
So if you do have those items, our church office is open from 9:30 in the morning until about 2:30 in the afternoon. And then we're also available to collect them on Sunday mornings. The one thing I did forget to mention is that none of these quilters, or only one of these quilters is a member of the congregation.
Okay.
So this is really a community effort. Some of these folks have come from other congregations. Some of these folks are just people in the community who like to quilt. And so that's another way that we rely on the community.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. Also providing a little bit more context for our quilters out there doing that great job. And with us right here live on The Splash, by the way, from Spirit of Grace Church, we have Pastor Joyce Party-Kasteib talking about the quilting group that they have with Spirit of Grace, how they started, what they do, and the impact that they make, not only right here in West Bloomfield, but in the United States and globally altogether. Now, we've already talked about the fact that you don't necessarily do the quilting yourself, Pastor, but I'm pretty sure that you've probably seen or witnessed any information or insight in regards to how the process is done by chance?
So it takes a lot of laughter. These women, I love listening to them from my office. They're always having fun together. So I think that's the first requirement. The second, I've been told it's pretty easy. Some people will sit and cut squares. Some people sew those squares together. Some people will make sure that the bottom sheet and the top part that they've just fit will fit together and that they're the appropriate size. Some people sit and pin so that the edging that needs to be done is done correctly. And some people will tie yarn just as an extra decorative touch to those quilts.
It's a very honorable thing. We got to appreciate that and love that. And as we talking to, I'm thinking about the blankets and the quilts that my grandmother made and crocheted for me when I was younger. Like I said, just doing things like that by hand, it just means so much more. Just a few last things before we let you go, Pastor. First and foremost, once again, any information to give out if anyone is interested in joining, signing up, or becoming a volunteer, finding out more information regarding that.
So they meet on Tuesday mornings at 9:30, and they're usually in the back fellowship hall until around 11 o'clock.
Okay.
It depends on how much fun they're having that day. And if you want more information, you can always get in contact with the church through Facebook, Instagram, email, or just looking at our website.
Perfect. And any other exciting service initiatives or things just outside of this quilting group that Spirit of Grace has going on that you want to tell the community about?
Sure. Spirit of Grace has a diabetic food pantry that serves clients once a month, specifically clients who are in need of diabetic food supplies, because we know those can be expensive. So we're always looking for donations. And on our website, there is a list of donations if you're interested in doing that. There's also an Amazon shopping list, so that if you have time just to click on Amazon and send something over to the church, we'll get that and put that in the diabetic food pantry. There's also a blessing box that is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right outside the doors of the church. You take what you need, you leave what you can. And so we don't know how much food is passed through there, because some people leave things and some people take things, and it's just there. We also have a couple projects coming up. We'll have Thanksgiving food baskets that we put together for some of the families in West Bloomfield. We get those names through the school system. And then we also have our annual Christmas dinner. We hand out Christmas dinners on Christmas Day. So it's a drive-through system. You tell us how many meals you need, and we give them for you as long as we have them.
So much going on, so many different services, programs. But for the most part, if you're listening on 89.3 Lakes FM or watching on CivicCenterTV.com, just know that it is there to serve the community, and we appreciate you for that. Once again, from Spirit of Grace Church right here in West Bloomfield, Pastor Joyce Partikastai, we appreciate you and your time.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for all the donations and the help that the community has given.
And we want to say thank you again to the group of quilters at Spirit of Grace Church, who are all volunteers, by the way, making a difference worldwide. Find out more about what they're doing on their Facebook, Spirit O Grace, or go directly to their website, spiritofgrace.church, for more information. If you are seeking something to do to celebrate the Halloween season this weekend, we got the perfect thing for you. Coming up, the Optimist Club of Kego Harbor is hosting its annual Halloween Pumpkin Decoration event. With me right here live on the Splash to give you all the details that you need about that event. From the Optimist Club of Kego Harbor, we have Bill Portakis and Mike St. Louis. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for having us. It's our annual pumpkin decorating. It's a non-cutting event. We'll have about 200 pumpkins there for local elementary school age kids typically. And we'll be painting the pumpkins up, and Bill provides us with a lot of fasteners and things. Mm-hmm. So we take fasteners and hammers, and we bejewel them as well. Great fun for all the kids.
Oh, interesting. Okay. It already started off interesting by saying it's a non-cutting event. So you start to think, what are some other ways you can decorate? And I love that you already stepped on that. So I appreciate that, Mike. So kind of get into it, Bill. If you could just give us the details of the event, the date, the location, things of that nature, what we can expect.
Okay, so we're opening up at 10 a.m. Saturday, and the kids will come in. There'll be a line of decorations, pipe cleaners, cotton, and at the table there'll be glue and paint, and the kids go to town. And there's a drying area where we have 2 carpet fans. They dry, and then they come over to the photo booth and they get to take a picture home with their creation, and so that's good. This is going to be our biggest one ever, because now Chico's down. Normally it was just for Roosevelt, so we have Chico, Gretschko, and Scott, and all our elementary schools. So we bought 50 more pumpkins because of the extra school.
Well, we invited Refuge as well.
Oh, right? Refuge as well. Actually, we're doing a lot with Refuge, and they open their doors to us. That's pretty cool.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. And I'm glad that you are planning for more. As you said, you're inviting more people, more kids. You're expecting more, so you invested in more pumpkins, more resources. That's good to hear. Mike, bouncing back to you, we're seeing that this is an annual event, right? So that means there's been some events of this in the years before that. Can you just talk about the inspiration of not only creating this event, but the evolution of it throughout the years?
Well, it started out at Roosevelt School, and we would have them inside there, and then the damage to Roosevelt and the pandemic that came along kind of moved us outside to the parking lot there, where we were just handing out pumpkins for a little while. And then when Roosevelt moved over to the old Abbott, we started up again in there, and it's been quite successful. We try to have a few other little activities going on with the kids as well. Cider, coffee, donuts, things like that for refreshments. Play a little Halloween spooky music, things like that, and occasionally we'll show a Halloween movie or something, not the real scary kind.
Right.
Like Nightmare Before Christmas or something like that.
Right.
We do that with Jack Skellington. So this is definitely a wear your old clothes event, though, because the paint sometimes doesn't stay just on the pumpkin.
Good point.
Yeah, we encourage everybody to bring a box so they don't put a wet pumpkin in their car.
See, these are all things, as you're speaking of, these are things that I can tell you all learned throughout the years with these events. People started to, get paint on their clothes or in their cars and things of that nature. So you're saying, hey, bring some clothes, some used clothes that you don't mind getting some paint on, and bring a box. That way you don't have that fresh paint in your car also. So I appreciate that, and I'm pretty sure all the parents that'll be attending appreciates that also. Speaking of that, can you just talk, Bill, can you just talk about some of the responses you've gotten from families or even the community about this event over the years?
Well, it's sort of nice that, now that they split the people in Keego Harbor, half go to Greshko, half go to Scotch. At least they'll be able to see their classmates that they grew up in grade school with again, because they split everybody up, and that's important. And well, like you said, you learn from the past. And like one year we brought the pumpkins in, they're too cold, so we bring them in the day. They didn't paint well, so we bring them in a day early, so they're room temperature. And then one person noticed, I think the pumpkins are too big, and they were right. We just never noticed. So now the kids can handle the pumpkins a little bit better. And that, I call him Farmer John, but the in Keego Harbor, he gives us a great deal on pumpkins, and he gets us really good pumpkins with good handles on them. And he's got them boxed in a container that's easy to move. He does a really good job for us. And, I don't know, it should work well. It's easy, Mike's got a pallet jack. We can bring them in and out easier too.
Yeah.
We just have to have that center door removed. And then I'm calling on some neighbors to help us Thursday to set up. We got to cover the tables and set things up. And,
I like that. I like that. Overall, everything that you said, Bill, just basically speaks to the community involvement, not only just the feedback, but them helping out from you, Farmer John, like you said, getting the pumpkins, to neighbors helping out with moving things and setting up the tables and things. It's a community effort, and that's why we appreciate you all. And right here again, join us on the Splash Live from the Optimist Club of Keego Harbor, Bill Bertakis and Mike St. Louis, talking about their upcoming Halloween pumpkin decorating event that'll be happening Saturday, October 26th. Mike, I'm curious to ask you, you all could have thrown any type of event for Halloween. It could have been an adult costume party, but you're choosing to focus on the kids with that. With that being said, can you just talk about how throwing events like this contributes to the mission and the values of the Optimist Club of Keego Harbor?
Yeah, Kevin, I can, and you guys have been really kind enough to help us promote our monthly euchre tournament, and that started up again last month. And it's that euchre tournament helps pay for things like this. We make just a little bit of money on it. It's a charity event,
right.
And it is this community that comes together to make all this happen. And while we do a couple of things that are a little more adult oriented, we all derive the most satisfaction of working with kids.
Of course.
It is great when they get their pumpkins all decorated and they come over to Bill and they've got the green screen or a neutral screen in the background, and they take a picture with their creation, and they get to take that picture with them. And it's also a really good opportunity. We do, like on my street, I haven't had children on that street for a long time, but generationally it's changing now. So all of a sudden I will have trick-or-treaters at home. This is a great opportunity to welcome those new people into the community as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, what else? There's a lot of grandparents in my neighborhood, and I encourage them to bring their grandchildren. You don't necessarily have to go to Chico to come. I mean, your grandparent, you're obviously invited to come and do something with your.
What Bill is really trying to say is, if you're an adult and you bring a kid, we're going to let you in.
Right.
You gotta have a kid to attend though.
Right. Don't just show up by yourself. It's usually we say a child has to be accompanied by the parent, but it goes likewise too. The parent has to be accompanied by the child too. I appreciate that. Just a few more questions, real quick with you, Bill. Just getting to you. Other events. I know we're slowly approaching the holidays. Anything else we can look forward to from the Optimist Club of Keego Harbor?
Yeah, we're going to have a private party with needy people that we get a list from the school. We're going to do that at Centia Hall, and that'll be in January. And we're going to help Gino with his December 16th, Monday. He does Santa Comes, and we do the pictures, and Mike and I will help with that.
Nice.
And so we try to assist that people, too, that are trying to do the right thing for kids will be there,
Right. And we appreciate that effort, too. And thank you for giving us a little sneak peek into what's in store for the upcoming season from the Optimist Club of Keego Harbor. Lastly, Mike, the details of the event again that we're expecting for this weekend.
Okay, it's Saturday the 26th. It starts at 10. I would recommend people start getting there a little before 10 o'clock. We'll have them come in. There'll be some big boxes full of pumpkins. They get to pick their own pumpkin as they come in, take their favorite one, and we'll have them move over to some tables that'll be prepared with all the supplies that they'll need to make that pumpkin their own.
Man.
Oh, another thing too, besides coming through the front door, they'll have the back door open too.
Okay.
And the doors are numbered. Number 8 is the closest one to it's in the lunchroom there.
Okay.
And so they got, I guess by law, they got to have every door numbered. And but it makes it clear for us too. Like,
No,
well, it's
absolutely.
better back there too. So if you park in the back and come through door 8, you're right where you need to be. And we should have some, maybe some hay bales and corn stalks or something kind of surrounding the door, just so you know what it's that it is the Halloween season.
What another thing Mike does is there's some autistic kids, and when they have free time they don't do anything, they get fidgety. Mike brings puzzles in, and they can play with puzzles for a little bit, keep their mind occupied.
There you go.
So that's something that we learned, that the autistic kids, when they're done, they go crazy with it. They don't have nothing to do, and so we get puzzles too, and they take them home.
Yeah.
Get to take them home.
That's a very considerate, Mike. That's very considerate. And that's, like we just said before, that just goes into the years of experience that you have with this event and the community that came out, listening to the families and just providing what's needed. Thank you both again for your consideration, for your time, and your information. Once again, from the Optimist Club of Kego Harbor, Bill Pertakis and Mike St. Louis. Thank you both for your time.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. We love to spread more information about things that are going on right here in the community. Like we said, Saturday, October 26th, that'll be the Kego Harbor, or Optimist Club of Kego Harbor's annual Halloween pumpkin decorating event. We'll keep you updated on everything going on in the greater West Bloomfield community. We are live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
Hi, I'm Lauren Azuri, the Park Naturalist Supervisor for West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations to you, Civic Center TV, for hitting 1 million views on YouTube. We really appreciate your partnership in spreading nature education in a creative way in our community. I'm Lauren Azuri, proud to be 1 in a million.
Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh, and there's a special 40-minute workout session which will be held at the West Bloomfield Fit Body Boot Camp that's actually happening on Haggerty Road in the West Bloomfield area, and it's actually for a great cause, as a matter of fact. It's for a Pink Out event and a coach squat off to benefit victims and survivors of breast cancer. So right here, join us live on The Splash to talk a little bit more about that and give us the details of that. We have the owner of Fit Body Boot Camp, Karen Scott, joining us. Thank you for being here, Karen.
Thank you for having me, Kevin.
Yeah, so I gave a little quick overview of the event, but just give us a little bit more details of what we're expecting from this event.
Certainly, yes. So we have been raising funds for the last month and a half. We actually started out on raising funds with our Inferno workout, which is an outdoor workout, and a portion of the proceeds from that went to it. We've been doing all of our ribbon as well as bracelet sales as well, and then also did T-shirts with all of our crew so that they can wear those on our Pink Out tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. So yeah, there's our Inferno, and we had a great time with that, and raised over $150 for the Pink Fund. And the Pink Fund is our charity organization that we are donating to. It's our third year partnering with the Pink Fund. They are a local organization that helps out people
Think we're having some slight technical difficulties with Karen
Yes,
right
indeed.
now. I think we have you back now, Karen. We missed you for
Okay.
just a brief second, but no, continue to continue on, please.
Sure, sure. So the Pink Fund, as I was sharing, is a local organization, and they support those who need financial assistance with their daily finances, not their medical expenses, but other expenses, other resources that they might need as they're going through their treatment. So it's a great way for us to give back to those in need in our community, and they are national, but they do that locally as
Okay.
well. So I know they've supported over 40,000 people, and being able to, help them so they don't have all of that stress as they're going through their treatment.
Exactly. I'm glad you brought that point up. They're already going through that physical adjustment and stress and changes in their body, and it's good to relieve a little bit of their financial stress as well. Great with that. Join us right here live on The Splash, owner of Fit Body Boot Camp, West Bloomfield. We have Karen Scott talking about the Pink Out event and the Coach Squat Off that's going to benefit victims and survivors of breast cancer. That'll be Friday, October 25th, 5 p.m., West Bloomfield Fit Body Boot Camp. Now, you said you've been doing this for just a few years. What was the inspiration behind even starting this?
Yeah, so as you can see behind me, there's some really large pink ribbons, and we do actually have quite a few survivors of breast cancer. So we're always about promoting health and knowing that it's a preventative medicine as well, and fitness and resistance training. So it's a great preventative method for improving your health, but it's also great for those who have been through it.
Okay.
And we just have some amazing members that have gone through the treatments and are survivors and are stronger than ever in our community here at Fit Body.
Nice. Thank you for providing that visual. If you're watching on CivicCenterTV.com, you can see the pink ribbons behind her that she was talking about, and just representing some of the members who's going through that or has survived that. And we love that you're advocating for that. I want to ask you in regards to the squat off, the coach squat off part of the whole event. Let's talk about that a little bit more. You gave me a little bit of information. Just talk about how the idea of that came about and how it actually works, the logistics.
Right. So we are always challenging our members as they're here on our mat and doing their workouts really super hard. So this is just a way to get them incentivized to provide donations for our charity organization. And so we have done different exercises over the years. We've done burpees, we've done wall sits. This year it's going to be a squat. So all of the coaches will take the total funds. We are working to raise over $1,500. Right now, we're just shy of $1,300. So we're getting really close here as our time is winding down. But for every dollar that is donated, we will be doing a squat. So we have a lot of squats to do tomorrow evening, and we're still raising funds. We're going to have a button on our Facebook page. And in addition to the items that we have been selling already in gym, if anyone from the public would like to join us, we'd love to have them. And we just ask for a small donation of $15 to participate, and that goes 100% of proceeds to the Pink Fund organization.
Karen, we gotta rewind a little bit real quick. Did I hear you say that your team is gonna do a squat for every dollar received? Did I also hear you say you have a goal of $1,500, but you raised $1,300? So you and your team are gonna do 1,300 squats tomorrow?
Yes,
At
and
the
I'm
least.
sure it will be 15 before it's all said and done.
Wow. Can you just talk about the response you've gotten from some of your members, your team members, not only as you all came up with this plan, but as the donations are rolling in?
Yeah, they get excited because obviously, like I said, we push them, and it's just a lot of fun for them to be able to, come in and watch us do, some of the hard work this time, and be able to, really show them that, we're in it with them, and, we want to, support these organizations because we are all about our community and making sure that we are giving back to our community. And this is just one small way in which our coaches have all agreed that this is, something that we're willing to take on as a challenge.
Nice, nice. Love that right there. And with us right here live on The Splash, owner of Fit Body Boot Camp in West Bloomfield, Karen Scott, talking about the Pink Out event and the Coach Squat Off that'll be benefiting victims and survivors of breast cancer. This will be Friday, October 25th. 5 p.m. at the West Bloomfield Fit Body Boot Camp. I want to continuously ask you a little bit about this, the reaction, or I guess you could say the expectation. What do you want people who attend this event to take away? Not only on just the physical side, but on the side of supporting your cause.
Right. So we are, like I said, about the community, and we really want people to know and feel that. So when members come in, they feel warm and welcomed, and they just feel like they know they're immediately part of our family. So we call ourselves the Fit Family, and they are able to, help give back in their own way, whether it's, coming in and cheering us on, giving a donation. They just love, seeing us all come together and raise these funds. We have a very gracious and generous community here already, and we just are wanting to open that up to even more people in our community to come in and get strong with us and then watch us take it to that next level.
Yes, and we are happy that you are doing that, and we hope it's going to be a great turnout. We know you're going to reach that goal of 1,500, if not exceed that, for sure, especially as we are putting that word out. But I do want to also ask you, are there any other charitable events or charity focus events or collaborations planned for the future at the gym?
Yes, actually, we do. Next month, we will be doing a system-wide across all fit bodies in the U.S. and in Canada. We will be doing a food battle. And so for a small donation for just $20, everybody can get 2 weeks free. And that donation will go directly to our charity. And that is going to be the Hospitality House. Again, another long-term partner that we've been working with to provide them the supplies and resources and things that they need for their clients that they support. And obviously during the holidays, it's a big time. And we want to make sure that they have the necessary items to take on and be able to provide to those that want to have their holiday celebrations. We also will have a toy drive coming up in the December timeframe. We adopt families from local communities and work with various partners, elementary schools, churches, and things like that, to find these families and be able to give them a Christmas that they maybe weren't able to have.
Yes. I'm glad I asked you that question, because I know we're slowly going into that holiday stage. We're already, pretty much into Thanksgiving or preparing for it and getting ready for the other holidays. And like I said, I know other local organizations are doing things to ramp that up, that holiday spirit, and help out families and residents in need. So I appreciate that effort, and thank you for giving us that heads up. Before we let you go, Karen, let's reiterate it again. The details, the time, the place, the registration, the fees associated with the event, please.
Yes, absolutely. So tomorrow evening at Fit Body Boot Camp, we are located at 6189 Haggerty Road, just across from the Meyer grocery store. 5 p.m. we'll do the workout. And then right after that workout, we're going to have those coaches get on the mat and do that squat challenge. And hopefully, as we just talked about, over 1,500 of them. And if anybody wants to join us, they are more than welcome. They can click on that invite on our Facebook page on our event, and then just come on in about 15 minutes prior to that. And we'd just love to have them join us for a small donation that will go right to the charity at $15 donation or whatever they would like to give. And then we'll be able to just pack our gym full of our members and then those guests that are coming in as well, and be able to really just crush out a great fun event where we're all just going to be dressed up in all the pink that we possibly can, and then watch us do those squats.
Ooh, Karen, let me tell you, I commend you and your team once again for the physical challenge. When you said you all did burpees before, oh, I would have been out of there. I'm out of there. But thank
I
you
believe it was
again.
107. It's amazing how these numbers remind you.
That's crazy. Well, we want to thank you and your team again for all the work and effort that you're doing, especially with these charity-focused events. Once again, owner of Fit Body Boot Camp in West Bloomfield, Karen Scott, talking about the Pink Out event and Coach Squad Off happening in West Bloomfield. We appreciate your time. Now, celebrating high achievements right here locally, the West Bloomfield Library recently received high honors from the state of Michigan, being awarded the State Librarian's Citation of Excellence Award. And our very own Tyler Keefe had a chance to speak with West Bloomfield Township Public Library's director, Kathy Russ, about the honor and how the library has continued to make improvements through its services throughout the years.
I want to extend a congratulations out to the library, one of 3 across the state of Michigan that received the State Librarian's Citation of Excellence from the Library of Michigan in 2024. Take us through those first moments after you got this announcement coming through your inbox earlier on this month that the library here in West Bloomfield was being recognized as among the best in the entire state.
Yes, we had applied for the award, I want to say back in August. And, then you just have to wait and see what happens. And I want to say it was at the beginning of the month that I got the email. And I didn't forget about applying for the award, but you just try to put it out of your mind and keep your fingers crossed. And then when I got the email, I remember it was on a Monday. And I remember thinking, oh, this is a good Monday. Mondays sometimes aren't so great, but very flattering, very just rewarding. And I'm just very appreciative that the committee saw, I think, what the community sees and certainly what I see with the West Bloomfield Library and chose to recognize us.
And Kathy, we know the West Bloomfield Library has, for many years, for decades, sustained itself as one of the more respected libraries in Southeast Michigan and across the state of Michigan. But how do you believe the work that's been done in the last 5 to 10 years has pushed them forward to the point where they've gone from being a good library, maybe even a great library, to one of the best in the entire state?
Well, I have to give a lot of credit to the previous director, Clara Borer. She laid a really fantastic foundation. And then when I started at the library about 4 years ago, I wanted to build on that. And I think it's certainly a team effort. It's not, it's never just one person. And this was one of the main themes of our award application is that we really try to involve the community. We listen to the community. We want the feedback, and then we want to give the people what they want. So it's a team effort. It goes from the community to the staff and library administration. But we would not be able to do what we do without the support of the library board. The Friends of the Library certainly contribute to that. All of our community partners, like we have a fantastic relationship with the Parks Department and the township. Police and fire, the community coalition, on and on. So, what I really wanted to get across in this award application, and what what I'm really gratified that they chose to recognize is it's a team effort. This is really an award that goes to the whole community, the whole organization, because it just involved everybody.
That's all the faces that we've seen on this program over the years that have talked to us about a variety of programs, whether it's been yourself or it's been Jeff Crocker, Victoria Edwards, Emily Tobin, the whole team, and so many others that we don't see behind the scenes that contribute to this. And that's really what was at the crux of the application. The state librarian's office, in order to qualify for this, you have to fill out what's called a community needs assessment that focuses on a few specifics: spaces, services, and collections. How have those evolved in recent years, or how has the West Bloomfield Township's public libraries, spaces, services, and collections ultimately been led by that team to be at a point of excellence that it's at in 2024 and beyond?
Sure. Well, that's a great question. And I should say, too, I was on the State Librarian's Award of Excellence Committee for many years. So I understood the inner workings of the committee. And this year we did a lot based on the community needs assessment that the West Bloomfield Library did in 2023. So I got off the committee. I said, I'm not going to be on the committee this year because I knew this year I really wanted to apply for the award. And the reason for that is we took the recommendations and the wishes of the people who responded to the community needs assessment to heart and implemented them. So it was a process along a little bit of a journey. But specifically, we redid a lot of spaces. We repurposed the community, the former computer lab into the community commons, which is like a third meeting space. The community really wanted more meeting space. We have a large meeting room, we have a small conference room, but we really didn't have that in between space. So we repurposed the computer room to provide that. But it's also a space where we can teach classes, we can have open group study. There's just so many things that we can do with that space. And then we took a quiet study room. We have 2 quiet study rooms, and one, was really sufficient. So we took the second one and turned it into what we call the reflection room. We have a lot of people who come to the library and stay all day studying, working, doing, whatever it is that they're working on. And sometimes you just need a break and you want to just chill. And, it's a lovely space where you can sit, you can stare out into the greenery, into the woods behind the library. Comfortable chairs, you can do some yoga, just have that quiet time. And then we also put in the storybook trail with the help of the Parks Department. And none of those projects would have been possible without some really generous donations and bequests from members of the community. So again, bringing that community feedback, but also the community generosity into these projects. So those were 3 of the biggies. But we also tried to just add. People wanted more programming, we added more programming, things like that. So again, we put everything into that award application, and it worked.
It did. One of 3 libraries across the entire state of Michigan that the State Librarian's Office awarded the Citation of Excellence across the state of Michigan for 2024. In the 23rd year of this award's existence, this is the 2nd time now that West Bloomfield's library has been recognized for this, the last time being all the way back in 2009. And what does that say, Kathy, in your opinion, about the continued evolution of this library that, 15 years ago, they were recognized for their excellence, for their development, for their spaces, services, and collections then. And a lot's changed in 15 years, but one thing stayed the same. West Bloomfield's kept up to date as being an A+ library.
And I appreciate you bringing that up because I have that little statue in my office, and 2009, so 15 years ago. And to me, what it says is that this library, from the board to the staff, to administration, the friends, everybody involved in this library believes in continuous improvement. And we do not want to rest on our laurels. We don't want to coast. I just don't. I think organizations die when they do that. So we want to keep getting better. And you can have a great library, you can provide great services, but there's always room for improvement. And so to me, what it means is that we just keep building on that really solid foundation. And to be frank, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to, when I had the opportunity to come to this library, I really wanted to be here because that's very appealing. I mean, that the staff really takes the public feedback to heart and wants to give the community members what they're asking for. And I believe in that too. So I didn't have to convince anybody. They were already there. And just to keep building on that. And it's a lot of fun because it's so positive. There's some negative things in the world today, but to come to work in such a positive environment, it's really wonderful.
And when you're so forward-facing in a community like this, you see that love and that passion from the team really on display in every one of these actions. It's very obvious by seeing how this has developed over the years and how these programs and these spaces, these services continue to evolve at the library, that team on the front end you talked about is so passionate about this, and that shows in their work. Kathy Russ is with us, the director of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, one of 3 across the state recognized by the state librarians. Citation of Excellence, there it is on your screen on civiccentertv.com, the big award for 2024, which also came along with its own its own surprise as well, a $1,000 gift to purchase ebooks and other materials. Take us through a little bit of that and what residents in West Bloomfield and the Tri-Cities can expect coming to the library soon as part of that generous gift from this big award.
Sure. So, as I mentioned, we renovated some spaces, we built partnerships, we did a lot. One of the things from the community needs assessment that people really wanted to see were more ebooks. Ebooks are so popular; they're hugely popular. So, with this award, we received a $1,000 check, which is always great. And so with that check, we want, again, to give the community what they're asking for. So we plan to put that $1,000 towards the purchase of ebooks. Ebooks aren't cheap. So we'll be able to get probably somewhere between 20 and 30 ebooks, which is nothing to sneeze at. And so you can expect to see more ebooks coming into the catalog fairly soon. And that we will I think this award, the statue will be on display. We'll put it with the 2009 statue, and I want to put it in the display case out in the front lobby at the main library so everybody can see it, and then send it to West Acres. I was joking with the staff that I felt like it was the Stanley Cup. We should pass it to all the departments so everybody has a chance to see it, and the public has a chance to see it. So I think and as a visual inspiration, just keep going, keep doing what we're doing.
23 years that the State Librarian's Office has been bringing this award out and providing it to communities across the state of Michigan. West Bloomfield's now won it twice. Kathy, I'm a sports guy. Once you get a couple of championships under your belt, you're not just in greatness territory, you're in Hall of Fame territory. I'm not gonna put that kind of pressure, that kind of moniker on the library, but I think we got ourselves a Hall of Fame library here across our 4 communities. Anything else before we let you go today?
Well, I just mentioned, one of the things I got to give some remarks when I accepted the award, and what I said, the state librarian presented the award and took some of the highlights out of the application, and just to hear it read out, I was, thought, okay, we really did do a lot, but it's all things that we should be doing and things that we want to do. So I guess I just want to tell you and tell the community, keep those ideas coming, keep the feedback coming. We really do want to hear it, and just come by and see this award because we share it with you.
More information on their hours and all their services, and even on this special award, can be found on West Bloom LIB on Facebook or WBLIB.org. Kathy, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Tyler. Take care.
We appreciate you for always watching on CivicCenterTV.com and listening on 89.3 Lakes FM. I am Kevin McIntosh, your host for today, and I approve this message. We are live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.